line as down payment and no cash value cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Middleburg Kia warranty. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/26.
Hewitt Tire and Auto has been in business in Panama City forever. Locals taking care of locals. From the smallest to the largest vehicles, they do it all. But don't take my word for it. Listen to the experts.
Hewitt Tire and Auto, your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Northwest Florida's home for college football bowl games. WGSX Lynn and WPLQ Port St. Joe.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Powered by Panama City Toyota. And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
The defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Tuesday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We are so glad that you've decided to join with us on this Sports Tuesday. We like tacos, but it's definitely not Taco Tuesday right now. Either way, glad to have you here. Don't forget, tonight at 8 o'clock, Troy versus Jacksonville State. Salute to the Veterans Bowl right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You can find it right here. It's a great, beautiful day. The weather's not too bad. It's pretty good. And as always, on a Tuesday, we got Jeffrey in the building. Jeffrey, how you doing, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I've been here the whole time.
Have you?
Just like Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. It's nothing like somebody being tardy.
Yeah.
But either way, glad you're here. And Bone Crusher here, crushing the ones and twos. How you doing, Bone Crusher?
All right. Got more prizes to give away today from that boot store, Anytime Fitness, Ferrucci's Restaurante in Buffalo Rock. What time do you want to do that?
We're going to do that at the 5:20 time slot today. It's going to be after 5:20, so we're going to be pumped up about it. It's going to be pretty awesome. Like he said, boot store, Anytime Fitness, Buffalo Rock, and Ferrucci. Don't forget that, and Golf Plus.
And yesterday's winner already came up today, and I gave him the tour, and they sat. Jeff's sports nemesis, sat right in his chair.
Yeah, he sent the picture. Put it on Facebook. It's all there. And, next time you should put some LSU stuff in there so they can be very happy about that.
Yeah.
But either way, we're going to be doing that today. Don't forget, listen in. We're going to take caller number 10 whenever we start that. That's going to be fantastic. So either way, we're pumped up about it. Don't forget, if you want to, you can be a part of the show. 850-215-6290 is the Red 7T's phone line. And, yesterday we had talked about some things, and I do want to read some of the things as it gets loaded. We talked about the Heisman and whether or not it was a down year, whether or not it was an up year. And, obviously the numbers were down during the time that we think that offenses are really clicking. Realistically, the numbers are not. They're not any higher than anybody else, but I just,
And if you think about it, like back in the days, there were like 116, 119 teams in the top level. Now you got 136.
Yeah.
So you're playing teams that, I'm not saying they're not as talented, because there is a lot of talent spread around and everything. Maybe it's more spread out to different teams now. But you're right. I mean, the numbers are down. And specifically, running backs, really.
Yeah. Well, they
wide
changed
receivers
it.
too.
They changed.
Yeah,
they changed the way, but they went from the RPO, and really, it still bears to witness, though, a team that can run the football still is successful.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. You can take away, you can add to it, you can make this, make it that. But at the end of the day, if my guys up front can beat your guys up front, we got a really good shot at winning this football game.
Yeah.
And that's on every level. If you look at high school, if you look at little league football, it's the same way. Yeah. If my guys up front can push you around and get physical and run the football on you, you're going to be in trouble, especially with a team that can't run the football. So let me ask you this. Wright State Chris had wrote yesterday that, he'd be curious to see what our favorite or what our best Heisman trophy winner would be, because he said his was Barry Sanders. 2,600 yards in 11 games. His bowl game did not count towards his final stat numbers because that didn't happen back in the 80s. He had 37 rushing touchdowns and had over 3,200 all-purpose yards.
Yeah.
And if you remember, he was a stud, but he sat the bench behind Thurman Thomas
the year before
at Oklahoma State.
And they had no idea. They had no idea what was sitting on the bench.
Yeah. So, you look at having those two Hall of Fame running backs back-to-back years, just crazy, unbelievable for that part. So if you could tell me what you think would be your favorite Heisman Trophy winner, who do you think?
Barry Sanders is in the conversation. Definitely over Bo Jackson. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is not me trying to play, I like this team better or that team better. Cam Newton was just a force for one full year. Reggie Bush was incredible. He was just running past people. It was just insane. And his cuts and everything is crazy. I'm not knocking O.J. Simpson. He was definitely better than Marcus Allen. For sure, back in the days. I'm sorry. Again,
I don't know.
I don't
know if I can agree with
Marcus Allen would be maybe like a top 15, but OJ's way easily in the top 10, probably in the top 5. Trying to think of who else. In the 90s, I'm not really super impressed with him. Even though I thought Rashawn Salam was electric. What was the other? Ragbit Ismail in 91 for the Notre Dame. It was just like spurts and all that. They weren't just getting pure big numbers and everything. There were some quarterbacks who had 4 interceptions in a year. And 30 touchdowns. And there were some insane numbers back in the days. And, 6 interceptions from Mendoza is pretty dang good.
Yeah.
With 33 TDs. But, I don't know. I guess you have to take it almost like decade by decade and pick out which ones, In the 90s, I don't even know. What would you say in the 90s?
Barry Sanders was great.
But he was 88.
Right. I'm just saying, just kind of going into,
and
then going into the 90s. Because you got to look at all of these guys. You had Werfel,
Yeah, and Werfel's not.
You see what I'm saying? Those kind of guys that were system guys, what we would call system guys
Eric
now.
Crouch was the worst stat person to win the Heisman in the universe ever.
And what happens normally is we will take the record of what they do once they get to the NFL, and then we will call them a bust, and that's not really fair, because that's how we usually. And
some of them you knew ahead of time, like Chris Winkie,
right?
Jason White,
all those guys.
Yeah, those guys. Very good. We knew Eric Crouch wasn't going to be much of anything.
No, and that's where you look at them all like that. But for me, I'll just tell you, and I know this is probably going to go off really good in this area.
Tim Tebow.
Is Tim Tebow, yeah. Honestly,
he's easily top 10.
Yeah, he's easily top 5, really, when you look at it. Because he could run the football, he could throw the football, and he had that tenacity to win football games.
The team.
Yeah,
he had a lot of talent.
Yeah, they had enormous amount of talent.
It was shocking to see how much talent was on USC's team, and Vince Young took them down.
Yeah.
That was way more impressive than Deshaun Watson.
But also, you got to look at the Vince Young team. They wasn't a bunch of scrubs. There was a lot of people on that team that went on to have successful NFL careers as well, too. Offensive linemen and in the backfield for the defense.
Yeah, but USC had the defense. They had Lindell White and Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. And they had wide receivers. I think it was Williams. It was that USC team was just, they were like the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. I mean, they were like them.
They were good.
They were good. They weren't that good.
They weren't that good.
But when people say the 2019 LSU, I'm like, I put them, I don't know. Is that top 3 right there? 1, 2, 3?
Maybe.
It's possible. It's possible LSU's number 3, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I mean, that 0-1 Miami team.
And look at all the Alabama teams. I mean, it's hard because you have so many of them to pick.
And then just say, to be able, because, could they stop Derrick Henry running the football? I mean, could they? Like, could they or could they? You know what I mean? Like, because that could change the whole thing. To me, that USC team kind of, I don't know, they get lost in the shuffle at times just because Matt Leinart was so atrocious in the NFL, and I think that's part of it. Well, it's just like what, I know Brian on Mondays, he likes to say, and he said it all year, talking about Jeremiah Smith being the best, the best. Yeah. And the thing is that the Heisman Trophy is not for the best player or who's going to be the best NFL player, but it's the person that has the best stats, and usually they're winning. I mean, that's the deal.
Yeah,
you have to be the leader.
Robert Griffin III was an exception. And that gives hope for people who aren't going to be in the national championship.
Right.
And Lamar Jackson, another one. Louisville, same deal. So I really kind of thought that Pavia was going to win it on just pure stats and the eyeball test. But, again, character is a tricky word.
And it's a part of the process.
It's an insult. And we know this. And it's Western civilization. So I don't want to get too technical on you, but the morals, the values, you can't go off spouting and just saying like, well, I'm better than everyone else and nobody knows anything else and F this, You're insulting people who voted for you, you goofball.
Yeah.
I mean,
so there's a thin line between us against the world mentality and making people not like you because of what you're talking about and how you're talking.
Yeah.
And just because you're making a lot of money, just because you're probably the most popular football player in the country right now, doesn't give you all the authority to just go out and say what you want and come back later and clean it up, or let your PR team clean it up later. Because that's really what's happening. And so, and he did this all year. This was something he did all year.
I just wasn't listening to it as much, I guess.
It was happening. And then, he would have Johnny Manziel on his sideline. And I remember he come to the Alabama game and Johnny Manziel wore a Pavia jersey or something and was getting into it with the Alabama fans. And the thing is, yes, you're successful based off of having money and not having a real job and all of those things. But the character part is a part that everybody looks at, and I know Manziel's had his struggles with whatever that he was doing, but let's just be honest. Manziel did not do the things that you need to do to be a successful NFL quarterback. He was not successful at being a quarterback, and he can blame it on partying and womanizing and fraternizing or whatever.
Drugs.
But the fact of the matter is to be an NFL quarterback, you have to study, you have to prepare, and you have to have the right mindset going in, and he didn't have that.
And I hate to make the comparison, but that margin right there that you're talking about, putting the work in and everything and the brain power and things, Baker Mayfield's not far off from Johnny Manziel, but he put the work in.
Right.
Baker Mayfield. And he had a little bit more, he had a better disposition, and he wasn't doing the drugs.
Right.
I mean, so it's 2 or 3 things, and that's the difference between Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, when you look at how they present themselves in, once they got to the league, it's just like Jamarcus Russell. He did the same thing. It wasn't necessarily the drugs, but it was the inability to want to prepare and just be like, my talent has taken me this far this long. Why not take it to the next level and let me be another star?
And you know how many high schoolers get to college and then realize that the work's not over with. They thought the work was over with, but it's not.
Yeah, and that's where when you're not the big fish in a little pond anymore, it starts playing on your mentality, and your mind has to really be in a strong place, or else you could get lost in the shuffle because you get so caught up in being the star, and everybody's giving it to you because you're the star, and the next thing you know, you're sitting out because you can't keep up.
So Herschel Walker's another one we forgot.
Yeah.
That's another one.
I was waiting for y'all to get to that. How many
the Georgia guy.
How many other players have finished in the top 3 in Heisman voting every season they played?
Yeah, that's true.
And Eric Zaire.
Sure.
No.
Did he win a Heisman?
No,
he did not.
Yeah. I don't even think
Stafford was he a second place? Stafford?
I think he was in the top. No.
I think he was second place.
I'll have to check on that. I'm not 100% sure. You know what's amazing though? Honestly, the Alabama quarterbacks, the lack of during those times where they wouldn't have anybody in there at all at times.
What do you mean? Like, so from Namath all the way to Bryce Young, there was were there any?
Well, Jay Barker was there. He
was never a Heisman or top 3.
He was there. He was invited.
He was in New York?
Yeah, he was in New York. Yeah, so he made it to New York.
So that was 92 or 93?
92. Yeah, he didn't make it. So
that's a Gino Torretta.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't think of who else was probably at that time. It's just up and coming.
Yeah, but Nebraska, they're just to me like what Ohio State was. They had a system that worked, but they didn't have a high priority on their schedule. So really, when you look at their schedule compared to everybody else's schedule, they didn't have the injuries. They didn't have the teams to play. That was the weaker schedule.
Yeah. They played Oklahoma.
Right.
And then they just trounced Kansas and Colorado and everyone else.
Everybody else. Yeah. And then what they would do is go into a one game. I mean, and don't get me wrong.
It was a 2 teams in that conference, and they just annihilated. And they just pounded teams out. They won 59-3. Okay, well, let's make them number 2. Because they're pounding teams out, but they really weren't playing anybody but each other in Nebraska and Oklahoma.
Yeah, so for me, as far as Heisman go, I would say Tim Tebow. And to me, really, when you look at how the running back has changed from what it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, our last super dominant running back that could totally take over a game was Derrick Henry to me in college, because Saquon Barkley was good. Yeah. But Penn State wasn't doing, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't do everything.
Yeah, who was the guy for Ohio State that played as a freshman and then tried to make it to the NFL and then got lost in the whole thing where Maurice Claret. That's it. Mm-hmm. That guy, total potential right there. Jerry Rice, if he had been in the top level, who knows what kind of player he would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Brown's another one if you get.
He won. Yeah, he won at Notre Dame. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of those guys that actually went on and had more successful careers. I mean, but like Detmer didn't. We talked about Winky. We talked about Jason White, Matt Leinart, all of those guys, and Tim Tebow. I mean, as successful as he is as a person, he didn't make it as
Rashawn Salam. George Rogers. I mean, some of these people got tripped up by different things. Some of the times it was drugs. It's sad.
Yeah. But I mean, that's part of all of it, not the drugs.
That's not part of it. Hopefully.
What?
Get off the drugs, son.
Put that down, Bone Crusher. Thank you.
More drugs to the set.
No.
We're on performance-enhancing radio drugs here.
But yeah, I mean, are we going to look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and say that Francisco Mendoza
stands out?
Is he going to be, did I say Francisco? I meant Fernando. Fernando Mendoza. Is he going to be one of those guys that you come in and say, oh, yeah, he's going to be successful and all of that?
Well, yeah, but as far as like Heisman's go, he's not top 25.
No, I don't even know
how many we've had so far. Has it been like 80?
It's been a lot, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's like 79th annual Heisman Trophy Award.
Yeah, so I think it was a down year. I think that
below. I don't know. Well,
the numbers.
Yeah. Overall, as all the people. Yeah.
The numbers. But I didn't get to say this yesterday, but I do want to make mention of it. The linebacker Rodriguez from Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Do you realize that he got 14 first place votes compared to Julian Sands' 8 first place votes?
And he didn't get invited.
But
the problem was the second and third place.
He didn't get the points, but he did get more first place votes than Julian Sands did. And, Texas Tech, you can say what you want about them, but...
I had a buddy of mine, and I don't want to say I was pumping him up and all that, but we were at LSU, and he was a defensive back. And I said, oh, man, blah, 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 blah. Maybe one day you can be the Heisman Trophy winner, or something like that, And I was hyping him up, and he said, and this is what he said. He said, the Heisman cannot be won by a defensive player. They don't allow it. And I was like, really? Are you sure? And back then we didn't have Google or whatever, And in 97, Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
Boom.
And that's been the only one except for
Travis Hunter
if you call it both ways. So, I mean, and that's neither here nor there. But, we could talk about how he didn't really – they got that other wide receiver down in Jacksonville now, and is he going to be looking for a job when he comes back next year? So, Travis Hunter. Either way. Well, we made it to our first break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about some of these bowl games that's coming up. We got to talk about them Gators. It's going to be coming soon. Don't forget. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text in now on the Red 7 T studio line. 850-215-6290. You've read the headlines. You've seen the highlights. But how about the unfiltered truth?
Steroid era, you can like it, love it, hate it, whatever. It's a baseball.
Since 2017, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has been the undisputed leader for sports coverage on the Panhandle. If it matters in sports, it matters to us, and it matters to you. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. The remainder of the day, there will be a light breeze out of the east-northeast, clear skies, and 61. Some clouds tonight, a little colder at 48. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and a gentle breeze right around 8 miles per hour with a high of 66. About the same at 69 Thursday, and we'll have a mixture of light sprinkles and mostly clouds. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Keep the adventure going this holiday season in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event. Bill Bird Kia is now offering 0.9% APR for up to 60 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or a new 25 Kia Telluride. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Countdown to savings is going on now. Celebrate the season in style and drive away in a new Kia today. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or VIN-specific new 2025 Telluride with $1,705 per month per $1,000 financed at 60 months. Quantities limited. $1,000 APR bonus is applied as down payment and no cash value cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/26.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfort Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
Round one of the college football playoff. Friday, Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Then on Saturday, it's Miami at Texas A&M. Followed by Tulane at Ole Miss. And finally, James Madison at Oregon.
Round one kicks off Friday with Alabama versus Oklahoma. Pregame starts at 6:30 on 104.3 ESPN in Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz. 100% live and local from the CDC Construction Studios. Your favorite team is garbage.
Dallas? I don't want you going to Dallas at all.
And we're here to explain why.
That place is crawling with crackheads and debutantes, and half of them play for the Cowboys.
It's time to take out the trash on the Sports Blitz. On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We're excited right here on this Sports Tuesday, right here on the Panhandle CBC Construction Studio. You know, Jeffrey, when you look at what's going on at Florida, we cannot not talk about it. And I'm curious to see, I want to hear what some of these Florida fans think about all the stuff that's been going on. This is a free fall. This is not just a normal deal where people are leaving and going to another school. This is a free fall. Something's happened, and we got sources that are saying that Lagway actually wanted to stay at Florida. But after having the meeting with Summerall stated basically, we're not so sure about your work ethic. We're not so sure about your future going forward with the Gators. And he was really hoping to stay with the Gators because everything he's been saying has been pro-Gator. All of the stuff about, I love Gainesville, I love being there, I'm a Gator, all of those things. But it's not lining up with what's going on. And we've talked about this before. And when you look at how a quarterback and a coach usually has a special bond, when you get there, your quarterback is always there. We saw it with Brian Daboll in the NFL. He had Daniel Jones there. They tried to make it work. They just couldn't make it work. It wasn't his guy. So then he drafts his guy. Obviously, none of that worked out for them at the Giants. But usually these guys like to bring in their specific kind of guy. They don't want to come back to someone else. And so realistically, from the reports that I've been reading, it is that DJ Lagway was actually wanting to stay, and they were just not presenting a clear plan for his development moving forward. And so with that being said, that's got to ask the question, does John Summerall have someone else that he's been talking to? And if he has, who is it? And where's he coming from? Because, I mean, really the Gators, yes, they've got a quarterback that was there. Yes, he played against Long Island University and looked the part, but that was Long Island University. And there was a reason. Was Billy Napier so tied to DJ Lagway that they couldn't sit him on the bench? Or is Lagway really not, he's a 5-star. Supposedly Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, all these people have reached out to him over the time is what people said. I'm not sure if it's true, but who knows if that's the case. But with all this being said, John Summerall clearly did not want DJ Lagway.
Most probably, yes. But I wonder if, somebody wants to hear, okay, maybe Lagway was sitting there and was like, okay, this guy's going to come in. He's going to tell me that maybe I might have to fight for my job a little bit or something like that. He probably just didn't hear what he wanted to hear. Lagway didn't. Am I right?
Yeah, that, or it could have been something about the money. But either way, we're going to go to the Red 7T's phone line. We've got Greg from Panama City on the line. Greg, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. I went and was looking at all the different amounts that the quarterbacks made last year in college, and he was paid $3.7 million.
Yes.
Now, the kid from Michigan got a $10 or $12 million deal over 4 years. I guess Lagway's was year by year. Mm-hmm. So, somebody must have figured out that he wasn't worth that kind of money. Or if they, hey, listen, I really want to be a Gator, but you don't want to pay me. And they get used to that money. I mean, $3.7 million and pretty bad record. We talk about coaches with bad records and getting paid a lot of money. He certainly did not fulfill his part of the deal this past year. So he's probably in the portal because they weren't going to give him that kind of money.
And these young guys, I mean, humble is not a word that comes into their dictionary. It's more of my pride got hurt because I'm gonna leave him. Left Tennessee for UCLA, and you knew it was a bit of pride. He thought that he was what the program was and everything, and Tennessee might have missed him a little bit, but I mean, Aguilar came in and just killed them. I mean, at Tennessee, but they still fell short of the playoffs. But you're right. I mean, let's say that, just the number $2 million, maybe that's a number that Lagway was thinking, hey, you're going to give me. And once it said 1 point whatever, he took it as an insult and said, well, I can go somewhere else and get that.
So, Greg, do you think that it's maybe just a talking point to say that these guys want to be developed, or do you think realistically when they first go into their first priority is to figure out securing the bag?
They listen to their agent. Okay, the more that they get, the more the agent gets. I mean, they're doing all the talking for these kids. They're kids.
Yeah.
And so they once you spoil someone with twice that much money, after a couple of good games at the end of the freshman season, they go, oh well, it was no problem signing them the next year, and these guys all got to answer to the boosters. Well, you call a few of the boosters on the phone and say, hey, listen, we're going to give Lagway another $4 million. Hell no.
Right.
I mean, so and who knows who else is out there in the portal, and the agent's probably already, talking to other people already, because you've got people that are out there working for you ahead of time, and who knows? Can't tell.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I agree with you. I mean, that's a really good point, and I appreciate your call for that. And do you think that Summerall has somebody in mind already, or do you think he's going to find, a recruit?
I have no idea, but I think when he decided to take that job, that was number one priority. One of the top priorities for him was to make sure that he's got that position filled. I mean, you look at Miami. Miami doesn't have. I mean, Cristobal hasn't been the brightest bulb in the lamp for the last 2 or 3 years, but he's gotten tremendous starting quarterbacks, and the coach looks great when the quarterback does good, and the coach looks like hell when he doesn't. I mean, look at it. Every team.
Yeah.
Exactly the way it looks. Look at the very first game when Florida State just beat the crap out of Alabama, and Simpson's really his first debut, and he did he didn't do too well in that very first game. And now at the end of the year, they're thinking he's going to go into the draft. And DeBoer was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. We got to get rid of him. Alabama, they're all going nuts. Get rid of DeBoer. Get rid of DeBoer. And then what happens after he wins a few games? And Simpson did wonderful.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden the coach looks great because the quarterback's been doing good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about it. Think about all the different teams you watched all year. Think about the situations, and that comes to light just about every time. So,
there's one scary digit though on Ty Simpson. I want you to go look at the stats against Eastern Illinois, where he threw 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and then won 56-0. That's scary ugly that he went and played Eastern Illinois and did that, because it was just ugly. All they did was just run after that. Once they figured out that this might not be a good idea to even pass on this team, you might as well just run it on them, and that's what they did.
Yeah, Tony Romo's not there anymore.
That's exactly right. Well, Greg, we appreciate the call, man. Thanks for listening.
All right, see you later.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, and that's a great point. I mean, he hit it right on the head. When you go in there, it's the agent talking. It's not the kid talking. These kids are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. I mean, even look at how smart kids are nowadays and how they're more advanced because of social media, about being able to know what they're doing, negotiating, and, because, like my son, he knows about stocks and stuff like that, at an early age that we didn't know about because we didn't have the technology out there. But don't get it twisted. These guys are listening to their agent. They're knowing
dad.
They know they're getting the money. When we talk about, remember what happened with Adam Land, the kid here at Mosley that's going to Mississippi State. The analyst or the coach from Mississippi or Ole Miss called him first, and after that he called the dad. And so because they still know that they're influenced by their peers or by their dad or by their agent. But I think what Greg was saying was right on point. He probably went in there with an idea of the money mind of what he was going to do. And if, you know, as well as I do, though, if John Summerall didn't think that DJ Lagway was the guy, it was probably the way he talked to him anyway. It may not even have gotten to the money, but at this point, you know, will he be one of the ones that, you know, hits the portal? When he hits the portal, is somebody big going to grab him?
And maybe that was the first thing that Lagway wanted to talk about was money, where Summerall wanted to talk about other things. And then maybe he hit him up and said, hey, I need this year's NIL deal, so I know I'm going to stay here. And Summerall might be like, I don't know, what you made $3.9 million last year for 3 starts that were wins.
Yeah,
we can't have that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's really where, you'd love to have been in that meeting to hear what number one, how the conversation started and what they talked about. Did they give the mumbo jumbo about did John Summerall give his, synopsis of what he's looking for about a quarterback or what he's doing this way or that way? You never really know. Either way, we're going to go to the phone line. We've got Gator Jamie on the phone. How you doing, Gator Jamie?
Doing good, boys. How are y'all?
We're doing fantastic. What's going on? What do you think about this Lagway deal going on?
Yeah, that's why I called. I wanted to chime in on it real quick. I read some reports and stuff on it that they had a conversation didn't go well. I would like to think that Summerall just told him, hey man, you're gonna have to battle for the starting spot. Nothing's gonna be given to you like it has been for the last couple of years. We built our program around Lagway. I mean, he was not getting pulled out of the game for any reason. He threw 5 interceptions, and they still rolled him back out there. I don't know every situation I've ever seen. If you throw 3 or 4 picks, you don't get the chance to throw 5.
Right. No, that's right. And they were in the game still. That game at that point, they were still there.
Yeah, right. I mean, you could have. I mean, after I think I called in after that game and made this point. But after the third one, put the other guy in, even if it's just for a series. Pull a Spurrier. You know what I mean? Sit the kid down and look at him and say, hey, look, we're still in the game here. We're going to need you to win it, but you can't keep doing what you're doing. And I just don't feel like you.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Yeah, no, and that's right. And
because he was.
Yeah, I think we've got a disconnection. But he brings up a good point. The whole Florida program was built around Lagway for that time, and for those 2 years,
they trusted him. Like Arch Manning, like Gus Nussmeier, Aaron Nussmeier.
But you're given that trust, but you have to, at some point, you got to start delivering results.
Yeah.
Or you have to be held accountable, which means you may have to sit down and watch somebody else play for a minute.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like that was ever an option. And I feel like maybe Lagway heard that. Oh, I'm going to have to actually battle somebody for the first time since probably never. I mean, the kid's probably been the best player on the field. Every time he's ever touched the ball, he's been the best athlete on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right,
so
Jamie.
Maybe coming to that realization that, hey, I may have reached the level where my talent isn't going to, just outclass everybody. I've got to start putting in the hard work, and he may not be ready for that. I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope he shines.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
Because I do think he's a good kid.
Yeah, I do too. And I just hope that, he makes it off. Yeah. I'm with you. Well, Jamie, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Okay, we're going to go to the Red 17s phone line. We had a little bit of a trouble with that phone call, but either way, thank you, Jamie. We appreciate that, man. We're going to go to Bill in Tennessee. Bill, how you doing, my friend?
What's up, buddy? Long time, man. Long time.
Yeah, long time. What do you think? What is going on? There's a free fall going on in Gainesville. What are we doing?
I don't call it a free for all.
Okay, what do you call it? Tell me, Bill.
Well, I mean, look at the production of the guys that are leaving. The numbers they put up, they're not exactly eye-popping.
Yeah,
I mean, let's face it, DJ Lagway had a lot of upside, but we never saw that.
Yes.
We never got to that point.
You had glimpses. You had glimpses.
Very, very few glimpses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to his credit, he's a good young man, but hey, to me, I think, number one, he was obviously hurt all summer long.
Yeah.
I've heard that he was told it was recommended to have his shoulder repaired, and his calf and himself and his family decided against that. So he didn't practice all year thinking they could just get better, but it never worked. I don't think he did himself any favors by doing so. Now, I hold Napier accountable. He's gone, so we're not worried about that guy no more.
Yeah.
But as far as the rest of it, it's to be expected, man, with NIL and the portal. All of this is to be expected.
Yeah, and let me ask you this: we haven't talked to you about this specifically as far as the Summerall hire. I mean, are you okay with number one him, and then are you okay with what he's doing as far as bringing in the coordinators? He brought the Georgia Tech coordinator in with some of those guys, and then the Kentucky side on the defensive side.
Well, Kentucky's defense pretty much kicked our butts regularly the last 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
So there's that. Buster Faulkner, I think, is a really good OC. People are worried about the quarterback run game, which Faulkner is an air raid guy. He likes to throw the ball around. They were using Haynes King to his strength.
That's right.
So the guy can adapt to his personnel, which is something we haven't seen in quite a while in Florida. Since Kyle Trask, how about that?
Yeah, that's true. Have you heard of any of the quarterbacks that maybe they might be, targeting, or do you think they're going to stay?
I've heard Aaron Philo from Georgia Tech is coming.
Mm-hmm.
He was their backup. He broke all of Trevor Lawrence's passing records in Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah.
If that means anything.
Yeah, it does.
Now they say he played at a lower level high school, but he won a state championship in his junior year and his senior year. But I mean, to do that is something special.
Yeah, for sure.
No, and that's one thing Coach Spurrier always wanted to do with his quarterbacks. When he was, recruiting one, he wanted to see if they won a state championship.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, that means something.
Yeah, and that's where with John Summerall, you got to think that they're going in that that direction of trying to provide a winning mindset, bringing in kids that have won on that high school level. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
How do you think about, or what do you think about Jaden Ball right now? Do you think because they did say early on that they really targeted him and Wilson right out the gate?
Well, him and Wilson and BB3, as well as Jaden Woods and Miles Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the guys we need to keep.
Yeah, do you think they're probably going to do that?
Well, I can tell you from what I've seen on different threads and different shows, they're going to do all they can to keep those guys.
Yeah.
And it's not like Florida doesn't have the money. But you have to allocate the money wisely.
Uh-huh.
You can't just throw it all at one guy. I mean, kind of like a la DJ Lagway.
Yeah.
Or Bryce Underwood.
Right. Exactly. Now, you got Phil Trotwine back. He's a hell of a offensive line recruiter and a coach. We're seeing a lot of big name O-line recruits are looking at Florida now because of him.
And that's going to be big because you got to be able to impose your will on teams in the SEC.
In the trenches.
Yeah, you have to.
Up front. Up there, it's one up front on both sides of the ball.
So, Bill, I'm going to tell you what you hit on right on the head of the nail. But What I was beginning to worry about when I was hearing name after name after name of these people hitting they're not officially hitting the portal. The portal doesn't open up till January 2nd. But when they're announcing that they are going to be doing that, I was worried that it would be like Jaden Ball's like buddies and all that. But you're right. They're freshmen. When you got Katie Daniels, Amir Jackson, Jordan Castle, Mike Peterson Jr., Josiah Davis, Aiden Mazzell, Teddy Foster. All these guys, they got 10 guys in the portal, including Lagway, right?
Yep.
But if you look at it, they're like freshmen, redshirt freshmen. These aren't Ball's buddy, which is great because you do not want to lose Ball.
No.
You lose Ball, and it's going to be mayhem for the first year at least. And the only thing
go
ahead.
I heard Shane Matthews asked Zach Alberti this morning what the pay is to top running back. And he said, basically, in the country, there are maybe 5 running backs getting $1 million.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because you look at the NFL structure. Look at the NFL structure.
True. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Running backs aren't the highest paid players.
No.
Quarterback, left tackle, wide receiver, and corners.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, will Jaden Ball command a lot of money? Absolutely.
Yeah, he probably will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he does.
Did you hear what Summerall said? Hey, we need to get that guy's ball 10 more times.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're doing what they can to keep him.
Yeah. Well, Bill, we're bumped up against a break. We're going to have to go,
all right,
man.
Buddy.
Hey, thank you for calling. Yes, sir.
Give Hobby a call. Make sure he's not crashing out.
Oh, my goodness. All right, yeah, we'll check on him. We appreciate it, Bill. When we come back, we're going to talk about... Yes, sir. We're going to talk about the Florida Gators schedule. We're curious to see what you think about that. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone Service.
The Red 70 studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Rich Eisen Show.
With the Kansas City Chiefs not making the playoffs, first time in the Mahomes era, you're going to miss them. You're going to miss the buzz. You're going to miss the pizzazz. You're going to miss Mahomes versus fill in the blank. You're going to miss Mahomes versus fill in the blank with no time left. The AFC playoffs will have less juice to it without the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 11 to 2. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfurt Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction, be part of a winning team.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
Correct. Layup good and wide. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smash down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. It's the foul line extended. Raises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Catch select Florida Gator basketball games on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida airs the biggest games of the week from the SEC, ACC, and beyond. If it matters in college football, it's on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here in your CBC Construction Studio. Beautiful Panama City Beach at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, stay on with us. We're going to be giving away another Christmas prize package after 5 o'clock today. You don't want to miss it. We've got Boot Store, Anytime Fitness, Buffalo Rock, and Ferrucci's, as well as Golf Plus, all inside of that box. Is going to be awesome. We had 2 winners already, and it's going to be fantastic. They already come and got theirs. They're ready to use it immediately, and there's nothing wrong with that. So either way, thanks for listening right now. We're going to stay on the Florida Gators. You know, they put out the SEC schedules last week. We did not get a chance to go back. And last year, if you remember at the beginning, or this year rather, at the beginning of the season, we talked about how tough the Florida Gators schedule was. It was number 2 in the country. It was tough. I mean, they had everybody starting out. And I know, guys, don't get me wrong. When you look at these, you're like, oh, well, playing this team isn't so rough. Yeah, well, at the time, LSU was ranked. At the time, this team was ranked. But as it goes on, you're going to lose games. You're going to have people hurt. There's going to be things that happen. You're going to lose your coach. I mean, look at Penn State. Look at all the people they used that were playing against Penn State as having a hard game. And they were like, mark this game. That's Penn State. It's going to be tough. But either way, what do you think about the Florida schedule coming up?
I want to talk about that, though, when you say well, these teams played teams when they were ranked. Okay. Somebody's throwing stones this week at Vanderbilt and said, you only beat 2 ranked teams. Yeah, those 2 teams are ranked at the end of the year, but you look at their 6 games that they played versus ranked teams when they were ranked. Of course, South Carolina fell apart, and LSU almost fell apart completely.
Right.
Well, it wasn't completely. They fell apart, just not completely, not like South Carolina, right? So those 2 teams are not ranked at the end of the year. So, yeah, you beat 2 ranked teams, and then you lost to 2 other ones because you lost to Texas and Alabama, correct?
Yeah, and then beating Missouri was a big deal, too, at the time. Missouri was ranked at the time. That was
one of the 2 teams that they beat that were ranked at the end of the year. So you beat 2 ranked teams. You lost to 2 ranked teams. But LSU and South Carolina at the time, they were still holding it together a bit. It was early in the season when they killed South Carolina, like, what was it, 31-7, I think it was? Something like, anyway. It's respectable. You played 6 ranked teams out of 12. Yeah, people knocking on Vanderbilt. Well, guess what? You look at other teams. Did Notre Dame play teams that were ranked at the time? 6 different teams? No, they played 3 because the USC was a 3rd one.
They were ranked at the time.
Yeah, USC was ranked. That's it. 3. Vanderbilt played double that.
And they lost to 2 of them.
Yeah.
And only beat 1.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so we'll go on. We'll move on. Now, Florida last year, 3 of their 4 out-of-conference games were heavy, right?
Yeah.
We had Miami, South Florida, and, of course, Florida State at the end of the year. Okay.
Right. And week one, South Florida, Florida State, Miami, they all looked like, who's going to be the best team in Florida?
Yeah.
So don't, you know what I mean? Like, don't take that off the table.
Yeah. South Florida still finished 10-2.
Yeah, and they curb stomped Boise State at the beginning of the year.
Oh, yeah.
And then
beat them bad.
And then Florida State did what they did. We don't have to talk about that anymore, but let's just move on past that one.
Okay. So we're going to a 9-game SEC schedule.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 teams that Florida's going to have to play outside of the SEC schedule, okay?
All right.
So, of course, it's going to be Florida State at the end of the year.
Yes.
And they open with Florida Atlantic in the Swamp.
Okay.
Okay. You know, they hadn't been the same since Lane Kiffin left.
Right.
Okay. And then they follow with the Campbell Camels.
There we go. Come on.
No.
Well, they played Long Island last year.
Yeah, they did. But these are two teams instead of one that you're opening the season with. And it's going to be a nice introductory for Summerall to figure out who he's got to start after that, because the SEC schedule kicks in. And it's not too shabby at the beginning. Okay, you ready for it?
Hold on, let me say something right there.
Yeah.
Do you think any Florida fans are going to go ahead and get a national championship tattoo after those first 2 wins?
No, but
better not.
But they could get some wins behind it.
All right,
and you're going to like the first one because they're playing at Auburn. But it's a possibility they could win at Auburn. Right?
Well, I mean, obviously it would depend on what time and if Auburn can keep Cam Coleman, who they bring in at quarterback.
How the coach is adjusting.
Yeah, however, okay, so the thing about Auburn, and let's just pull it off to the side for just a little bit about Auburn. They've got their offensive scheme that's going to have to be, come in with a new coaching staff. Everybody's new. Everybody depends on who stays, who they get, who transfers, all of that. Auburn always has it. But this is what's scary about Auburn. What was Auburn good at this year?
Defense.
Okay, guess what they did? They kept the whole Durkin and some of his guys in the defense.
And they're not hitting the portal.
And they're not changing schemes.
And they're not hitting the portal.
They're keeping the same defensive scheme. So they don't have to relearn a new defensive scheme.
Yep.
So Auburn is going to be tough on defense again.
Yeah.
And because I think all of their guys are staying.
Now, let's not get carried away, because a 5-17 improves. He could be, Auburn could be a 7-5 or 8-4. But let's not get carried away and think they're going to the playoffs.
Okay, but 5-7 team with 4 of those games being sided by 3 or 2 points less.
I believe it was 6 of the 7 were 7 points or less.
Yes. Okay.
That's nuts.
And not giving up 25 points, but once or twice all year.
Yeah, there was I think 2 of them towards the end of the season. They had one big
Vanderbilt,
super high scoring game.
Yeah.
So it was kind of ugly. But anyway, you're right though. Auburn has a chance to be one of the more most improved teams of next year.
Scary would be what I would call them.
Well, 2 or 3 wins is respectable. Florida's actually got that possibility, believe it or not, because they're 4-8.
Maybe
4-8.
dependent upon their schedule. Okay.
Well, you're opening with 2 wins, and you could beat Auburn. Oof. And then you're playing at home against Ole Miss. That's a tough one.
See, I think Auburn's going to be more tough than Ole Miss. Because you don't think you don't have Trinidad Chambliss back, possibly, because he hasn't said yet whether or not he's coming back. So,
and you're scared of Jordan Hare. Jordan
Hare at night is tough.
Yeah.
But Auburn is going to have a good defense. And a good defense in the SEC is always going to be able to bail out your offense.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what Florida did against LSU. Florida's defense was really good that night. They had 5 interceptions by DJ Lagway, and they still were within striking distance until he threw the 5th. So I'm just saying, Auburn, you know what? I know we can't pick it because we haven't started next year, but I'll tell you this. If you ask me today, who wins that game, Auburn's going to beat Florida that day. That would be my deal. But anyway, keep going.
So we got Ole Miss. We're best potential. You could be 4-0, but probably not. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you go at Missouri. Don't know what Missouri's going to have next year.
Yeah. Don't know if Eli Drinkowitz is actually going to stay at Missouri because he has been mentioned at the Michigan job.
Oh my God.
Okay. I'm just telling
That's
you.
Not happening.
All right. You believe these guys if you want to. Money talks. Go ahead.
Okay, and then you got so that was at Missouri, and then you come back home against South Carolina. Another winnable game.
Lenore Sellers is staying.
Yes.
There was a bunch of hype, but when he got the concussion, things changed for him.
Mm-hmm.
When Jam Miller got a concussion, things changed for him.
Yeah.
These concussions, I wonder later on if we're going to find out that, whatever happened, that you were supposed to take longer days or whatever because it caused too much trouble. But anyway.
Okay, so this is where it hits. And let me tell you, there's so many teams, I'm going to tell you, where the schedule gets compounded in 3 weeks. You have 3 hard opponents in a row. And we're going to talk about another team after this, Florida Gators, where there's 3 hard opponents in a row. And this is where it stacks up. Texas, Georgia, and Oklahoma.
So that's the 3 back-to-back-to-back right there?
Yes.
So you could have a chance to go 4-0.
So, now we'll say this much. After the Texas, they do have a bye. but then they got Georgia and Oklahoma back-to-back. Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, I'm just saying, 3 games in a row where the season might get away from them. You drop 3 in a row and things change in your head. Because that happened to Florida State, happened to Penn State this year.
Yeah, well, we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to finish it up. We're talking Florida Gator schedule. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Your home for college football. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's going to be the Troy Trojans versus the Jacksonville State Gamecocks in the Salute to Veterans Bowl tonight. Live from Montgomery, Alabama, we'll have coverage starting at 8. Can Troy's defense and recent solid performance overcome GSU's strong conference play and turnover margin? Listen live on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Partly cloudy tonight with a wind around 7 miles per hour coming out of the east and a low of 48. Tomorrow morning look for mostly clouds with a temperature near 61. The afternoon and evening, a high around 66 and clouds. Thursday, quite warm with a high of 68 and possible thunderstorms and very light showers. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Your NFL and college football headquarters is Dak Cajun Place. With 27 TVs, you won't miss a play or a game. 50 cents during live games every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. 50 cent wings and $5 pitchers during live games only at Dak Cajun Place. LSU and Saints fans, wear your team colors and get free Jello shots when LSU or the Saints score. Plus brunch on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2 with $3 mimosas. Game like a local at Dak Cajun Place.
Holiday shopping is in full swing, and new data is revealing just how and where shoppers are spending. Block, made of the brands Square, Cash App, Afterpay, and more, tracked both national and local activity over Black Friday and Cyber Monday. With more, here's Allison Meyer, Global Sales Marketing Lead at Block.
It was another big holiday weekend with U.S. businesses using Square, Cash App, and Afterpay, processing 124 million transactions, up 10% last year. Globally, in-store sales were up 14% and online sales were up 10%, highlighting the omni-channel ways people are tackling their holiday shopping.
The report also shows when shopping peaked, which neighborhoods saw the most activity, and how consumers balanced trips to local stores with online purchases.
Sellers saw strong activity this holiday season with 1.3 million businesses served through our commerce products. Shoppers visited stores during peak hours and took advantage of online deals at other times.
For more holiday shopping insights, visit growyourholidayswithblock.com.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And one of the college football playoff. Friday, Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Then on Saturday, it's Miami at Texas A&M. Followed by Tulane at Ole Miss. And finally, James Madison at Oregon.
Round 1 kicks off Friday with Alabama versus Oklahoma. Pregame starts at 6:30 on 104.3 ESPN in Northwest Florida.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. Pound the like and crush the subscribe. Follow us on social media for the latest sports news, scores, and updates. Keeping you in the game. The new Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Tuesday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, your place for Florida Gator football. That's right. We're talking Gators today. We're live and local right here in the CBC Construction Studio. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. You can hit us up on there, or you can hit us up on Facebook. We will read those comments as long as they're professional. Either way, we're talking with Jeffrey about the schedule, and we are being joined right now by our friend at Norvale Central Chop Chat, Taylor Devers. Taylor, how you doing today, Taylor?
Man, we are hanging in there another day, another dollar.
That's right. Well, good to have you with us. Taylor, real quick, we've been talking about this Florida schedule for next year. They had just put out the SEC schedules, and we'd wanted to kind of go through them just a little bit. We're about halfway through, so you can chime in with us as we finish this up. But Jeffrey's going to tell us who these three teams are that they've got to play. Who are they again, Jeffrey?
There's 3 in a row. After they open with Florida Atlantic, Campbell, Auburn, Ole Miss, Missouri, and South Carolina, which I'm not saying they're winnable, but these are some games that are winnable for an average SEC team. Then they go and they have Texas, Georgia, and Oklahoma. 3 games in a row in October, and that's the tough part of the schedule, the hump that they need to get over. And then they follow the last 3 is Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Florida State. So I'm just saying that those 3 games in a row in October is the main obstacle for Florida.
If you can win those 3 games,
no, you can't win.
You're
those
going
3
to
games.
the playoff.
Well, yeah.
But, let me just say this, all right? A lot of times what we do, and this is actually what we did this year. In the beginning of the year, we talked about all of these strong teams, and it did not end up being that way.
You're right.
And so, yes, as long as, I'm going to make this statement, as long as Kirby Smart is at Georgia, they will always be a contender. They will always put a good product on the field.
Yeah.
Texas, they didn't make the playoff this year. Everybody thought they would. Oklahoma, nobody thought they would make the playoffs. They did. So with that being said, yes, we can look at their roster. Yes, we can look at their head coach. But there's not a given that they're going to be solid, because everybody and their mother thought Clemson would be solid this year. Everybody thought LSU was going to be solid this year. Penn State and Texas. And those 4 teams, my friend, are not in the playoffs. So this year's teams could swap. Now, I will give it to you. When you got Kirby, when you got, when you had a Saban, that kind of stuff, yes. When you got Ryan Day up there playing in that conference, yes, you're going to see them in the playoffs. They're going to put a good product up. But I'm not so sure what Oklahoma's going to be, and I'm going to say it right now. Who knows what Texas is going to do? Now, are they going to be better? Are they going to be a powerhouse? They could be. But I don't know.
And who could be the Vandy? Could it be a Missouri?
Right. Exactly.
We don't know.
We don't really know.
So it's all speculation, and we're not going to slight Taylor with thinking that the Florida State game is a win for the Gators in the year, because we don't know what's going to happen. Because guess what? Florida State and Bama don't open the season against each other. It's week 3.
Yeah, it's different this year. Yeah.
Next year, it'll be different.
So let me ask you this, Taylor, real quick, as far as going with Florida. We've had a bunch of Florida fans calling in and commenting. Do you think that the DJ Lagway thing was a good move for Florida going forward, or do you think they might have missed that one?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think that was a good move for Florida to kind of cut ties, per se. I understand he was a former 5-star. I get it. But he probably threw more passes to LSU defenders than his entire team last year. I mean, it is a ridiculous statement that I never thought would be possible, especially considering LSU, while they are considered defensive back you at times and everything, is not your prototypical defense in the last couple of years. So it just kind of begs to wonder what Lagway was actually doing in those moments. Can he be able to kind of get past the hurdle and go to another school and get to that point? I don't know. But it is just it's a weird circumstance for Florida right now, because you really don't know what's going to be at that quarterback position.
And that's really where you got to know what Florida's doing. Obviously, he knows that he's got to have a quarterback. Everybody knows it in the college game, even in the pro game, high school game, even all of that. You got to have a quarterback. You got to have somebody that's going to be able to get in there and know your system. And obviously, their main deal, which a lot of the Florida fans had backed this up and said that that's what they've been hearing, is that the running back and Ball, and then Wilson, the wide receiver, was the big targets. I did see where a linebacker just had said that he's coming back for another year, number 5. So they are getting some help back on defense. Obviously, they're going to have a different a different scheme with the new coaches coming in, but either way, that's something to be had. We'll table it for now so that we can talk to Taylor about them Florida State Seminoles. Now, you guys have had some people get in the portal, and, you know, for me, it seems like, unless I read it wrong, you had a couple of running backs get in there. And how depleted is that running back room right now?
It's still fine right now. We got a couple of guys. Cam Davis was a big one who a lot of people thought was going to be really well out of high school. Obviously, you know, coming into the 24 class, you know, you had your 5-star quarterback. He's already out of the program. Then you turn around and have Cam Davis that's out of the program now. It just seems like a lot of the recruits that Norval's had over the last couple of years, and we'll kind of discuss this a little bit further, it just didn't pan out. And it's like, you know, we clown each other all the time in the off season about Florida State getting these transfers and not really being able to get too many homegrown talent and keeping that homegrown talent in Florida State. But, I mean, it's true. I mean, it comes to a point where Florida State has to be able to generate this high school recruits and get these guys in there and develop them at a high level. And Florida State just hasn't done that. You're seeing that on the field right now.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering. And how – obviously, they've got to say that Tommy Castellanos is not going to be there. I mean, he was denied. And are they still trying to fight that in court, or is that a done deal?
Yes, they actually are still trying to fight it in court. But Norvell, every time he's been, like, referenced about it and everything, he doesn't just seem very confident. And it kind of worries me a little bit in terms of that. Not saying I would or wouldn't want Tommy back in for 2026, but it just does not seem like good news for Florida State in terms of that.
And then, so if that's not going on, then who do they have? Where are they moving? Are they looking at portal guys? What are they trying to do?
So their biggest concern right now is making sure Kevin Sperry, who is a redshirt freshman, 4-star prospect, they really like him. He actually come from Texas. I mean, he's a big kid that Florida State really likes, live arm. He actually played a little bit when Thomas Castellanos got hurt in that Stanford game. He has a live arm, but the problem is he's young. I mean, yes, you had your Jameis Winston that developed as a redshirt freshman. You had DeAndre Francois that also was a redshirt freshman that developed too. It's not hard to see that you could possibly be able to have that out of him, but it's a lot of expectations to have out of that too. And it's just a fact of the matter is you can go for another year at Castellanos, but what is that going to do for the next year? Are you just going to portal over that guy? Are you going to portal over this guy? And I mean, it just comes to a point where it's like, okay, you can go after like Colton Joseph, the Old Dominion transfer, and maybe transfer and Band-Aid your way into this. But the fact of the matter is you have to get that homegrown talent, and I think that's where you have to be. And if Kevin Sperry's your guy and you feel confident in him, go after him, get him developed, get him an off-season, know that he's the guy, and go into the season with him.
Do you feel like that they won't go to the portal? And with that being said, is Gus Malzahn going to have his pick of the litter? Or, I mean, because Norvell seemed like, we've talked about this during the season, that Norvell seemed like he ran the team, but he allowed Gus to have, be in charge of the offense. Do you really believe that, he's saying to Gus, hey, Gus, who you want? Who's out there? Who's available? Because don't forget, and Jeffrey, I don't know if you knew this or not, but North Texas's quarterback who led the country in passing, Mestamaker is in the portal, or is going to be in the portal. He told North Texas that he was going. Obviously, his coach is leaving, but still, he's in the portal too.
It's just a weird circumstance. I just feel like there's a lot of obstacles that are going on so far with Florida State and what their quarterback room requires of it. And it's just a weird circumstance to figure out what is Florida State going to do, and that's one of the biggest factors that the fan base is looking at right now.
It's crazy to me. For me, if I was a big Florida State homer, and I would just be pulling my hair out. I would be so upset because it's almost like nobody knows the direction of the team. Nobody is Gus staying? Is Gus going? Is Wilson going? Is he staying? They're still fighting for Tommy Castellanos. Like, even if Tommy Castellanos was available, do you still feel like he's an $800,000 quarterback for your team?
Well, here's the bigger question. If he's an $800,000 quarterback, is Deuce Robinson your best receiver, a 1,000-yard receiver, going to be back? Because I guarantee you that $800,000, or at least the value of Thomas Castellanos and what he brings to the table, is going to elevate a Deuce Robinson's back.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, and you wonder who he's tied to, because let's just be honest. Tommy Castellanos will not be in the NFL. And so with that being said, do you keep him on as a coach who's connected to some of these guys that you want and let him be, in the program, let him come on as a GA? What can you do to keep the relationships that he's got with the underclassmen that he's built the rapport with, that he's not going to be able to be there? Can you somehow keep those guys? Because like Jeff said earlier, the people that were leaving Florida State, they were younger and they don't seem as connected to Jaden Boss. So keep Jaden Boss' friends happy so that Jaden Boss stays. And so, Deuce is he's got to be the central figure of your team. Let's keep his friends happy. Is Tommy Castellanos a part of that group?
Here's the thing, though. You can talk about all the time about a 1,000-yard receiver being your focal point, which you want to bring back in the offseason, but it all comes down to who's going to throw in the football.
Yep.
Thomas Castellanos is not a great thrower. We talked about the offseason about how he wasn't a great thrower. This isn't rocket science. You thought that this was going to be a dual-threat option for Gus Malzahn to be able to kind of have in that offense, and he's a guy he's worked with before. It was never going to be a situation where you thought, okay, this is a guy that Florida State's going to develop for 2 or 3 years. No, it was a one-year rental. You're hoping that a Kevin Sperry can kind of step up in that role, and you've already given him the year. Why are you prolonging this and forcing him to maybe even transfer out of the program after being able to not wait? You're seeing these kids right now. They're not willing to wait for anything. You're wanting to have quick results as a microwave society. I just don't understand the process of what Florida State's doing. If Kevin Sperry's your guy, get him, get your pieces, whatever you want to do in the system, and run with him. I don't understand the hesitancy. I don't know why you're trying to get this waiver started with Castellanos. If Sperry is your guy, get him, finish whatever you have to do, get the weapons around him, do whatever you have to do to get that happening, and let's roll with it.
We're talking with Taylor Devers, Norvell Central Chop Chat, right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Taylor, we've talked about it. Maybe we've talked about it too much. But is Norvell's leash very short going into this year? Because obviously they talk about it's the money. Mm-hmm. They've got the NIL money. Do they have the money to get rid of him if it starts really bad?
I'll say it this way. I've been a season ticket holder since 2009. And the biggest thing that comes with Florida State football is you have to keep the fans happy. Obviously, this isn't basketball. You're not going to have a basketball team that, is doing well and then the fans just disappear until they're good again. This Florida State fan base in football wants to succeed. You want to have butts in the seats. That's why you had the stadium renovations. That's why you had all this success in 22 and 23, because you thought Norvell was going to be that option. And unfortunately, the 7 and 17 year has not been what Florida State fans have wanted over the last 2 seasons. It just comes to a point as, are you ripping the Band-Aid off because you don't have the money? Are you ripping it off because, you think that this was just a one-off and maybe you're finally getting on the right track? Maybe this is a 10-win season and he needs to bounce track everything. It looks like wishful thinking, and it just seems like we're going through this vicious cycle again and again and again. When are we actually going to get to a point of stability? That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's the biggest point. Hey, we're going to go to the Red 7T's phone line. We've got Lynn Haven Rob on the phone. Rob, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm great, guys. How are y'all today?
We're doing fantastic. What you got going on, Rob?
I just want to say some truths about FSU and their quarterback situation. Why would they want Castellano back? I mean, he threw some deep balls, and he beat Alabama first of the year, and he beat up on two no-names, early in the year. Till defenses figured out he could not see the middle of the field.
Yep.
And so they didn't have to defend the middle of the field. He completed a lot of long passes by hitting a spot and throwing it deep, and receivers got underneath the ball and made great catches. But as far as making drives and being able to throw to a tight end going down the seam, he couldn't see it. If you watch any of those films or anything else, it'll look. He had receivers open in the middle of the field, and he could not see them. And why would we want to go to court and battle to get him back? I mean, let's play somebody new, fresh, young. I mean, he was an $800,000 quarterback. Winning quarterbacks costing you $4 or $5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right, Rob. I was wondering about that. Go ahead, Jeff.
You know what's scary is at the beginning of the season, I looked at that roster for Florida State, and I saw how many tight ends they had. They have a plethora of tight ends. And then I looked at the wide receivers, and I looked at their height. And some of those guys could be tight ends because they're like 6'4" and 6'5" and 6'6". I mean, it's ridiculous. Their size of their wide receivers and tight ends are ridiculous. How can this guy not see these tall guys? I mean, it really is like that.
Because he's 5'8".
That's right.
That's not good.
And that's the same thing about the guy that won the Heisman Trophy the other night. There's no way he's going to get drafted in the pros. I listened to y'all Monday.
Oh.
Nobody is going to draft him as a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Mendoza is 6'5", and he was towering over his other three guys. And Impavia is listed as 6 foot, but just like Paul said, he's 5'10" at best, because against Love and Sand, he was not 6 foot, you could tell.
And that's in platform shoes that you couldn't see on his bell bottom.
Yes, that's exactly right.
WCFL.
Right. He was shoulder height on those other two guys that were in there.
Yeah.
When they walked out, he was shoulder height, and you go, dang, he can't see over their numbers.
No.
Much less, anything else. So, I mean, he has no prayer. That's why, and you don't think he wouldn't, he could throw a lawsuit on you pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's about the only thing he can throw on it.
Right. I mean, so I just don't see anybody taking a chance on him in the pros.
No.
Canada maybe, but he is not going to make it in professional football in this day and age.
No.
If he goes to the Raiders, he'll end up in jail because that's what the Raiders do. No pun intended.
Yeah. But back to FSU, I mean, Gus, I don't know what Norvell's deal was last year, but I think he quit on himself last year. Looking at him on the sidelines, he was wandering around, watching the big screen. He just looked like he was lost. Couldn't believe what was happening. Instead of cheering his guys up. I mean, hey, let's get Jameis Winston. At least he's cheering you guys up and pumping them up and running on the field and everything else.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right, Rob. I appreciate that, man.
And I just don't understand it, but they're lost in Tallahassee right now, and they got no direction to go, and I don't see them getting any better next year. That's just the way I feel.
Yeah, I have my doubts as well, Rob.
And Game 3, playing Alabama at home. Look out.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I hope it's 100-0.
Here's the weird thing about it is that Bama is going to play 2 games. They can play on the September 5th and September 12th, so it will be their 3rd game. But Florida State, their schedule for ACC has not been set on what weeks they're going to be playing their ACC 8 opponents, not 9. And they open up August 29th.
Yep.
So they might actually be in their 4th week playing Bama And I don't want to say they'll be more seasoned, but the problem is that they're going to open up with New Mexico State and then 2 ACC opponents, and we have no idea which ACC opponents they may be. They might be, crud teams.
I'm losing you, if you can hear me. But, I thought they were playing 9 games next year. Is that 27?
Yeah, it's going to be 27 because they have New Mexico State, Central Arkansas, Alabama, and Florida.
2 things going against FSU playing in Alabama. 1, they're not going to sneak up on them this year. And 2, it's an away game for FSU.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough.
Right. I don't understand. FSU, if you go back and look, FSU was favored in their last 5 games and lost all of them. Away. That works.
Yeah.
So, North Carolina State, they were favored by at least a touchdown. Florida, they were favored. And really, Florida embarrassed them, It wasn't even, it was a joke.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, but it is what it is. But, I don't see them getting any better. And like I said, I grew up in Tallahassee. I've been going to the games my parents had season tickets since 1960.
Wow.
So I'm lost for words when it comes to it.
Well, Rob, we appreciate it, my man, and I feel your pain in that, my buddy. Well, have a good day, man, and we appreciate you listening.
All right, y'all talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We're going to go to our break, and when we come back, we are going to give away the Christmas box. You better be listening. We're going to be giving it away right when we come back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the hole. Your home for the most live college basketball in the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Partly cloudy tonight with a wind around 7 miles per hour coming out of the east and a low of 48. Tomorrow morning look for mostly clouds with a temperature near 61. The afternoon and evening, a high around 66 and clouds. Thursday, quite warm with a high of 68 and possible thunderstorms and very light showers. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you looking to invest in rare coins and precious metals? Well, look no further. Coin & Bullion Reserves is Bay County's trusted source for rare coins and precious metals. Located in the heart of Panama City, our showroom is stocked with a vast selection of gold and silver bullion, rare coins, and currency. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned collector, we have what you're looking for. Our sales staff has over 50 years of experience to help guide you through your purchase. Come and visit Coin & Bullion Reserves today and build your collection with confidence.
This Christmas, as you search for the perfect gifts, the team at That Boot Store wants to remind you of the greatest gift of all. The true joy of the season comes from celebrating the birth of Jesus and the gift of salvation he brought to us all. From the team at That Boot Store, may your heart be filled with the peace and hope of the season. That Boot Store wishes you a very Merry Christmas.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and wide. Up to the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. It's the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Catch select Florida Gator basketball games on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The sports world is a battlefield of opinions.
Auburn's got a serious problem.
And every day, Paul Wilson brings the heat, the fire, and the definitive take.
They are not finding ways to get him the football.
Don't just follow the headlines.
But they lost 2 road games, and these 2 teams are ranked number 5 and number 6.
Be a part of the story on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so glad that you've decided to listen with us today in your CBC Construction studio right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you want to be a part of the show, you can be. You can call in at 850-215-6290. The time now has come. We are going to open the phone lines to give away the Christmas gift basket with all of the goodies. Boot Store, Anytime Fitness, Buffalo Rock, Ferrucci's. The call line is open right now, 850-215-6290. We're going to take caller number 10. You're going to be the winner, and we're excited. You know, Jeffrey, when you look at how Florida State moving forward has got to go, you got to look at the coaching. He brings up a very good point. Not only Rob, but Taylor, there is no decisiveness with the coaching going forward. It seems to be very quiet. You see people leaving, and my algorithms show all of the SEC, but it also shows Florida State. It also shows, your top teams and all of that. And it seems to be very quiet. And what do we know when things are quiet? What are we facing?
No
problems.
Change. No change.
Right, no change, but problems, because that team last year,
yeah.
If you were a business and you were running that team from last year,
got to shake something up.
Something's got to change. If you're the boss and this one and that one isn't working, or this manager is not working good over this department, you change departments, you change stuff, you get it changed. So, that's really, Florida State's got a really big problem, and they got to get it with the coaches right. That's the biggest problem.
So hoping for change but not doing anything about it to make the change happen is kind of, a little nutty.
Yeah, so either way, we have...
Oh, wow.
Do we have our winner?
Yes.
We have our winner. We're going to go to the phone line. And who am I talking to on the phone line?
Hey, this is Greg.
Greg, you are the winner of the Christmas basket giveaway with 104.3 ESPN. Greg, are you excited about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't win anything ever, so as big or little as it is, it's good to win something.
That's what I'm talking about, Greg. You know what? That's the biggest part of it. This package is awesome. I know what's in it, and you will not be disappointed, my friend. And we go old school, Greg. So I'm going to say it this way, and hopefully I'll say it the right way. Greg, tell us what station in the Panhandle gives away the best gifts.
That's 104.3 ESPN.
That's right, my friend. We appreciate it, Greg. Bone Crusher's going to get all the information from you, so just stay on the line with him, and he'll take care of it from there. Congratulations, Greg. We appreciate you listening, my friend.
Thank you, guys, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Greg. We appreciate it, man.
You been to Ferrucci's?
I haven't. I have not.
I have, and it's good.
You like it?
Yeah. I bet you salivate in a $50 gift certificate.
Oh, yeah. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I've been to the boot store, too.
Yeah. I haven't been there either. I know what I have been to, though. Buffalo Rock every day, for sure. I definitely know what that tastes like. Yeah. So, but, yeah, when you look at how Florida State has gotten to the place to where they are right now, it just seems like they're in the red. They're spending all this money. They got their coach.
I'll disagree on that spending the money thing. Because we have a Cal Berkeley who's the biggest university that's in the red. They're like more than $150 million in the red. And they fired their coach, and they got to pay him. They got to pay that coach. That's horrible. LSU's paying 3 coaches right now. Coach O, they're still paying, right? Brian Kelly, they're still paying, and now they're paying Lane Kiffin. You want to talk about other teams are completely in the red, and they just throw it all to the side and just say, oh, we'll be able to afford it. Florida State's not getting rid of nobody, and they're saving themselves money.
They're not saving money because they're losing games, and they're all but giving away tickets to go to Tallahassee. You could have went to a $4 game this year to watch college football.
Was it 4 or was it 8?
Florida State.
I thought it was
got
$8.
down to $4. But what I'm telling you is, yeah, you can do all the numbers you want.
Save money.
But I'm telling you right now, the Florida State program is way bigger than Cal Berkeley. I don't even know who. You can't name 5 coaches from Cal Berkeley, I'm sure. But you could name the coaches, the players, the stars that have come from Florida State. We're not talking about anything different except for Florida State's up here, Cal Berkeley's here. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers went to Cal.
Yeah.
And that's about the only person
Marshawn
that
Lynch.
I can think of. Marshawn Lynch. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? Probably not. But Aaron Rodgers will be. How many Florida State fans or how many Florida State players are in the Hall of Fame and are going to be in the Hall of Fame? How many Cal people have won the Heisman? How many Florida State people have won the Heisman? Totally different ballgame here. I get it. You're trying to say Cal is this, Cal is this.
But $150 million plus.
The money that they're paying Mike Norvell for what he's putting on the field is in the red, Jeffrey.
Yeah, they're not making the money. I get that. And they're spending money on NIL, but it's nothing compared to these other schools.
Well, Bone Crusher is going to get Taylor Devers back on the phone, and we're going to ask him that question as well, because we got to know from an insider, I mean, a season ticket holder, someone who writes articles for a living on Florida State. I mean, the money that is spent on the coaching, Gus Malzahn, Wilson as the defensive coordinator, and Mike Norvell. Yeah, they're not the top of the line. They're not the top of the tape as far as yearly salary. But the money that they're spending is so outrageous to put on what they're putting on the field.
So here's what's outrageous, though. They opted out of a bowl game, and that's like $2 million practically, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not automatic, but that's a round figure for the lower level bowls. Why would you even deny a bowl game?
No idea. I have no idea.
Get it.
We're going to go back to the Red 17s phone line. We got Taylor on the phone. Taylor, thank you so much. We had callers calling in. They won the Christmas gift box. He was so excited, Greg was, so he won. And but anyway, we had the conversation, and Greg and Jeff brought up Cal was the one because they're $150 million in the red because of the coaching and firing their coach and all of that. But will you please
and LSU too?
Yeah. Will you please tell Jeffrey though that Florida State spending the money that they are on their head coach, their 2 offensive their 2 coordinators, they're in the red for producing on the field?
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. I mean, Florida State is putting in the resources to be successful. The problem is the moves and just the process that goes into it all is just very concerning, very clueless. I just don't even know where to begin because it looks like Florida State's doing all the right things. They're wanting it to be successful, but you can't end up like a Cal in terms of win totals the last 6 years.
No.
I mean, 4 losing seasons in 6 years, that's what you put on the field? I just don't get it.
And you're in the hotbed of talent.
Oh, the fan base. Compare Northern California to the Florida Panhandle's not even close.
So we changed your mind?
Well, no. I just think that they're saving pennies, but they're not selling a lot of tickets because the product that you're having out there, if you're having to discount your tickets, it's not very good. But, I mean...
They didn't just discount their tickets. They put them on clearance.
Yeah.
Well, Florida State has definitely not done that. And I will say this, too, because I sit around the 30-yard line on the visitor section. If I'm not sitting on the 50-yard line home section next year, I promise you I am going to have a problem with Seminole boosters. Mark my words. There's nobody in that stadium that would want to go and see that product right now, especially considering the home stretch that they're going to have. You're not having an Alabama. You're not even having a Notre Dame who you thought you were going to have last year. It just seems like there's not a whole lot of options there other than Clemson that you're really going to have.
Okay, they came out with the 8 teams that you're all playing next year in the ACC, but they didn't select the weekends, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you look at the ACC opponents y'all have next year? It's crazy.
Yes.
I mean, what are they trying to do? They're trying to kill y'all?
Pretty much. That's kind of how Florida State likes to have with all their stuff. And I'm not saying, like, the NC State at home, obviously playing them at home is a whole lot better than having to go play at Carter Finley. I would love that to happen. Virginia, you're playing them at home. I hate that we're playing Louisville this year. I hate that. I hate that stadium. I hate everything about it because I had to go and watch Tutu Atwell absolutely destroy us a couple of years ago. And it just seems like every road game I go to, mark my words, every road game I go to, we're going to lose.
No, you just don't go. Just don't go. Just do something else.
I'm not going, yeah.
Miami, Pittsburgh. That's a tough schedule, man. And I know it's the ACC, but this is a tough schedule. The only two top teams that you don't play is Duke and Georgia Tech. That's it. That's all you're skipping. You're playing the whole top conference, top part of the conference, though.
I never thought I would say this, but I would love to have Syracuse on that schedule right now. I would love
or Boston College.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I've almost thrown up in my mouth 3 times when Jeff's talking about how tough this ACC schedule is.
No. I mean, you look at the top half of that schedule. You look at that top half of that conference, and they're playing everybody but Georgia Tech and Duke. And is Duke really even a top-tier team? Probably not.
Well, I learned my lesson. I'm just going to tell you both. I started out really hot on the ACC, but my ACC love cooled off, and it cooled off very quickly. I think realistically, when you look at it, you're going to have Clemson, you're going to have Miami in there. I don't think Virginia's going to do it again. I don't think. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you play Virginia Tech? Because that's probably going to be the best team in the country in the ACC. I'm telling you.
And they're playing SMU also.
I think Virginia Tech is going to be the best. They're going to be the standard bearer in that conference moving forward. They went and done what we thought. They got James Franklin. He's bringing all those Penn State 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. I mean, I'm just telling you, they're going to be in the conference championship next year. Duke was in the championship this year.
You know who they're avoiding? Stanford and Cal. They're not playing either one.
Yes, exactly.
This is a tough ACC schedule. I'm sorry.
I just don't understand, Paul. It is Tuesday, December 16th at about 5:40 Central Time at this point. And you just told me that Virginia Tech is going to the con. Like, are we drunk on eggnog at this point? I mean, we're getting close to the Christmas time, and I understand everybody's got to have their Christmas shopping, and you got to have all your words of wisdom out there. But Virginia Tech, I don't know. You lost me.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. If Florida State gets in the ACC championship, I'll buy a shirt and wear it the weekend. But if Virginia Tech does, you're going to have to take a picture with that Hokie shirt on.
That doesn't match anything.
I will send it. I will tag the Facebook group. I will do everything I possibly can. It is there. I will make sure that happens.
Well, we will definitely put it on the schedule. Bone Crusher will add it for next year's schedule that Taylor Devers will be wearing a Hokie shirt that day. Oh, yeah. Purple and is it?
No, it's like a red and orange.
Okay,
but it's a dark red.
Yeah,
I don't like it. It's ugly.
Yeah, but either way, we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss more of this, and we're going to talk a little bit more about these schedules. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Yeah, even Seattle. Like, I'm still not sure. They could have lost to a grandpa. And I'm watching the game, and look, if Phillip Rivers came on the show, I would say, I think my arm might be stronger than yours. And he would probably agree. But he did okay.
It's It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Keep the adventure going this holiday season in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event. Bill Bird Kia is now offering 0.9% APR for up to 60 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or a new 25 Kia Telluride. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Countdown to savings is going on now. Celebrate the season in style and drive away in a new Kia today. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or event-specific new 2025 Telluride with $1,705 per month per $1,000 financed at 60 months. Quantities limited. $1,000 APR bonus is applied as down payment and no cash value cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/26.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfurt Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
Round one of the college football playoff. Friday, Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Then on Saturday, it's Miami at Texas A&M. Followed by Tulane at Ole Miss. And finally, James Madison at Oregon.
Round one kicks off Friday with Alabama versus Oklahoma. Pregame starts at 6:30 on 104.3 ESPN in Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. And now the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host, Paul Wilson.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, farm to radio. The Sports Blitz.
We're starting fresh.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your place for all the Gator talk, all the Seminole talk, Alabama, LSU, everybody. You're listening to it right here in the CBC Construction Studio in the Panhandle. Beautiful Panama City Beach. You can still be a part of the show, 850-215-6290. We still got Taylor Devers on the phone, Norvell Central Chop Chat. Taylor, I know we've been pushing it. I know we've been talking about it. Do you know the number for now that they've finished the season for Norvell's buyout? Because I know that in the middle of the season it was really high. And then they had the stuff in there about the assistants. And does that number go down now that we finished the season?
I believe they're down $5 million. I think it's down to $49 million now. Not ideal. Not even close to ideal. That doesn't even smell what Auburn had to do with Hugh Freeze. And what did they have to pay, like $16 million, $17 million?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bunch.
Close. And, I mean, that's the problem that Florida State fans have. You can say all this about Norvell has not lived up to the standard or whatever the case is. That is a lot of money.
It is. And this is the thing. I'm a realist, right? So, obviously, I have this show, and I speak my mind, and I say what I think. If I was the guy in charge, if I was the athletic director, I'd come out and say it. You know, hey, look, coach, we need a better product on the field. The reason why we hadn't let you go yet is because of the money. And I'm sorry. Yeah, I would not. Listen, this propaganda mess garbage that they tried to present out in there, it makes you feel like they're thinking that you're really that dumb to believe. Don't sidestep the issue. The deal was the money was too much for Florida State to have to pay. Don't give me this whole, we got all of the support for Mike Norvell. We trust the decision. We'll find out what's going on after the end of the season and do all this blah, blah, blah stuff. Why do we have to be so politically correct? But it makes these people think that we are not smart enough to understand it was the money. It was all about the money because they are not winning football games.
I just don't understand. So the fan base and the administration, they decide, hey, let's do a statement. Let's put it out there. This comprehensive assessment after the Stanford game was going to be what we're looking for. You have, roughly 4 or 5 games left to go in the end of the season. And you show us nothing to end the year because you ended up going 5-7, which is not the standard at Florida State. It never will be. And the problem is you almost were going to release that statement if you became bowl eligible. Bowl eligible at Florida State. I mean, that is unacceptable. And to a point where I'm just like, you just have to laugh at it because this administration doesn't really understand just the temperature of the room itself. And I just wonder if Florida State's ever going to get back to that point. You still don't have a GM that's hired in the program at the administration. I just feel like the administration's all over the place. They need to focus on a central goal in mind for what Florida State wants to be and how they're going to be successful. Because right now, whatever is working right now in Tallahassee is, it's a big mess.
You know what's not a big mess? AutoNation Ford in Panama City. They are the place to go for your vehicle. 730 West 15th Street, right there past the railroad tracks. You want a new vehicle? You need to go see AutoNation Ford in Panama City. Also, they've got so many deals right now to end the season. You need to go see them. They've got 2025s that are still there that they're giving just above MSRP. It is unreal, the deals they got going on over there. Also, if your vehicle needs some spicing up for the holidays so that you can show up at your family's houses with their vehicles looking great, go see Recommended Collision Center. Brandon and those guys over there. They even got another guy by the name of Brandon that works there. So there's Brandon Part 2 at Recommended Collision Center. Go see one of the Brandons, and they'll get you taken care of because they can take care of anything with the cosmetic part of your vehicle, and they'll give you free diagnostic tests. They do insurance-grade quality work, and you need to go see them if you got any problems with your vehicle. Jeffrey, you got something you want to read real quick?
Yeah, Hard Rock Bets just launched a brand new For You page, making it easy to find all your favorite teams, players, and leagues all in one place. You want to bet on Florida State basketball?
No.
Oh, come on. They're 5-5. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They're going to break it soon before they start up that ACC schedule. It's going to be tough. But you can bet, and you can get the Hard Rock Bet app. And if you have a problem with gambling, you call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
You know what? Panama City Little League has already opened their leagues for their baseball and their softball. And they've got co-ed T-ball. You need to go to their website, Panama City Parks and Rec. Sign up. If you want to be a coach, no problem. If you want to just be a volunteer, you don't have to be the head coach. You can just sign up to be a volunteer and help out the coach. Hit ground balls, help them,
batting
cage, any of that stuff. Go to Panama City Parks and Rec, sign up. They are there. They're going to have the season starts in March, and you need to sign up for those kids. It's a great way to be a part of the community. Don't forget to do that. We will also be having the sign up on the website and the Facebook page, so just look out for that.
Taylor, do you follow Florida State baseball?
I actually do. That Florida State baseball program is legit.
Okay, let me ask you. So 2 years ago, y'all were really handling the Gators pretty dang good, and they were coming off. The Gators were coming off of a loss in the national title game. Y'all played them there. Here, I say here, I mean Tallahassee. And then I think it was Jacksonville. Y'all played them 3 different times, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are y'all going to be doing that, you think, this year? Well,
if I remember correctly, we have been doing that Jacksonville series and everything like that. They've tried to make that a staple.
That's
with
cool.
Everything.
That's cool. Then there's no tie.
Yeah, that's true. Let me go to the Red 7T's phone line. We got hotty toddy, fellas, this game week. And Waylon says, I hope Kiffin chokes on a corn dog. So there you go.
He ain't eating corn dogs in Baton Rouge. Got jambalaya and crawfish pie.
I'm just telling you, that's the way it works. So either way, I wanted to read that before we made sure we got off the air. But you know what, Taylor? When you look at this Florida State football team, I mean, you know, the one thing that I think you should do, and I hope you're listening, if you need to turn up your volume on your phone, go ahead and do that right now, because this is something that's going to be a big deal for you. We're almost at the precipice of Christmas. And I know that wherever you live, wherever you are, there's somebody that is doing Santa Claus pictures. Taylor, you need to go to Santa pictures. You need to sit on the big man's leg, and you need to ask for a winning season next year. And if you can do that, I believe possibly Florida State could pull it out next year and turn it around and be a la Jordan Travis.
You know, my young niece, she decided to go and sit on Santa's lap the other day. I was almost right there in terms of just going up to Santa and saying, you know what, Santa, big guy, we got a message for you. You know, there's a big thing in Florida State football so far. You've had 4 losing seasons over the last 6 years. Your program since Jimbo Fisher has not been great. What can we do to make it any better? And I'll tell you this, get a stud transfer quarterback out of the portal. Don't nickel and dime. Let's not make this any worse than what it has to be. Let's get a high-quality talent. No Castellanos that potentially got benched out of Boston College. Not even saying Castellanos was a terrible option. DJ was terrible. Like, there are some guys there that you just need to go grab. Miami is grabbing guys out of the portal. You're even seeing a Sam Levitt out of Arizona State that they're going after. Because guess what? They go after high-quality quarterbacks. I just don't understand it. Florida State needs to go get one. Let the Cards play where they want to and go get a quarterback out of the portal.
Did I hear you correctly? Did you say DJ Lagway? You would not take DJ Lagway as your quarterback for next year?
I would not. You know, if I was an LSU defensive back right now, I would feel glad. If whoever I have to play on their schedule for next year and DJ decides, hey, let's go play there, I would hope, because LSU absolutely had a field day. He looks confused. He looks just bamboozled at times. I just don't understand the hype around DJ. I get it to 5-star, don't get me wrong, but I just don't get why he has so much hype around his name just because of the star ranking, because he played for a small high school classification.
You want to hear a name that you should forget?
Who's that?
TJ Finley has entered to try and have his 7th year. He has played at LSU, Auburn, Texas State, Western Kentucky, and Tulane, and he's applying for his 7th year of eligibility, and this will be his 6th team.
Jeff, do you know where he needs to go? Indeed. He needs to go there immediately. Immediately, no doubts, no hassle, nothing like that. He needs to go get a job application at Indeed right now.
Well, he's probably made enough money for himself over these last. I would not be surprised if he was a couple million in the bank by now. I mean, 6 years of manipulating the system and getting it in there.
I mean, he's at Tulane. Maybe just follow Summerall to the Gators.
Oh, man. How bad would that be if Florida State lost to Florida with TJ Finley as their quarterback?
Wait, I do wish that on my enemies, but guess what? LSU doesn't play Florida next year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so, that's not going to happen. TJ Finley, I'm sorry, bud, but maybe you should be an assistant coach or something. But either way, Taylor, Thank you so much, man. And we hope that you have a great Christmas. And I'm not sure, just depending on the scheduling for next week, but we'll get back with you once the first of the year comes. And Merry Christmas, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas to y'all as well. Hopefully Florida State has some big transfer acquisitions coming up, and I cannot wait for the holiday season.
That's exactly right. Taylor Devers, Norvale Central Chop Chat. We appreciate you, my friend. You know, that's the big deal when you look at how going forward for Florida State, this portal stuff, it matters because they haven't built themselves on recruits.
Yeah.
And when you don't build yourselves on recruits, you have to wait till January every year.
So Miami's gotten the reputation to take in good players from other places. It makes me wonder, it makes me think two things. Number one, they're building a situation where they're going to get more, but also can they develop or just let other people develop and bring
Who knows? But either way, tomorrow we will be discussing all of the bowl games. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you tomorrow. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth